Dangos I mi wlad sydd yn gyfiawn. Dangos I mi ddyn sydd yn gall. Dangos I mi fabi sy'n eog. Dangos I mi hanes cefn wall.
Scared to come into the building, you're more than welcome to, rather than standing on the outskirts here. Fy enw I Bethan Sian, a dwi'n ysgrifennydd cenedlaethol CND Cymru. My name is Bethan Sian, I'm the National Secretary of CND Cymru. The youth cohort of CND Cymru has called for this 7-day march from Trawsfynydd Nuclear Power Station to Wylfa Nuclear Power Station, in protest at the Westminster Government's proposals to recommission them using SMRs, small modular nuclear reactors. The decision to march came hand in hand with the growing frustration felt by young people following the government's greenwashing of nuclear energy, therefore selling it as a safe, clean form of energy and homegrown energy in the backdrop of the climate crisis. Yng nghanol yr argyfwng costau byw sydd ohoni, mae'r Llywodraeth Doriaidd wedi ei gamblo hi drwy roi 200 miliwn o bunnoedd ymlaen llaw i gwmni Rolls-Royce sydd yn gynllunio'r dechnoleg newydd hon. A maen nhw wedi wneud hyn heb wybod faint yn union fydd yr SMRs mewn costio yn y pen draw. A gan rwbio'r halen mewn i'r briw, dim ond ar ôl 2030 y bydd yr SMRs mewn weithredol. Bydd nhw methu, felly, chwarae mewn unrhyw rhan o cyflawni carbon net zero cyn 2050. A mae pob ceiniog sy'n cael ei gwastraffu yn arian nad yw'n cael ei wario ar dechnoleg sydd wedi ei profi i weithio. Opsiynau carbon isel, adnewyddadwy, megis yn ei hael, gwynt a thonau, yn ogystal ag insuleiddio tai. Dyn ni hefyd mor bryderus am effeithiau trychinebus cloddio am uranium ar diroedd pobl brydorol yn Awstralia, yn ogystal â pharthau deheuol y byd. Ni all yn ei niwclear esgor ar gyfiawnder hinsawdd. A mae ofyn gennym hefyd am y cysylltiadau wrth gwrs rhwng pŵer niwclear, y fyddin ac arfau niwclear. Ac wrth edrych ar y sefyllfa yn Ukraine, mae hyn yn brawf fod gan orsafoedd pŵer niwclear y potensial i ddod yn offerynnau rhyfel. Ar ongl amgylcheddol, mae gorsafoedd yn ei niwclear angen llawer iawn o goncrit i amgau ei gwastraff niwclear. Mae concrit yn para be, 50 mlynedd os dyn ni'n lwcus. Mae ymbyledredd yn para miloedd o flynyddoedd. Felly beth sy'n digwydd i'r gwastraff niwclear yma pan mae'r concrit yn methu? Mae gwastraff niwclear hefyd yn cael ei ollwng i'r môr a'i gladdu dan ddaear. Mae gorsafoedd yn ei niwclear yn cymryd cannoedd o flynyddoedd i'w cynnal a'i cadw hyd yn oed ar ôl i nhw gau. A dyma i chi gost economaidd ac amgylcheddol sydd neb yn siarad amdani. A mae'r criw ohonom sydd wedi penderfynu ymdeithio yn erbyn adeiladu'r SMRs yma yn Trawsfynydd ac yn Wylfa am ein lleisiau ni cael eu clywed yn y trafodaethau hyn. Hynny yw y trafodaethau sy'n mynd i ddarlunio'r dirwedd bydd rhaid i ni a'n plant ni byw yn y dyfodol. Ac mae damweiniau yn digwydd. Accidents do happen. Fukushima nuclear disaster in Japan in 2011 and Chernobyl in the Ukraine in 1986. More than 1,500 miles away, the radiation from Chernobyl affected hill farming in North Wales, where radioactivity became retained in the topography of the land. Sheep had to be slaughtered to prevent radiation from entering the food cycle, and Welsh farms remained under restrictions for a further 25 years. Radiation transcends the ideas of borders. It really just depends on which way the wind happens to blow. Ten years after the Chernobyl disaster, CND Cymru's National Secretary at the time, Jill Goff, took an ambulance load of medical aid and equipment to Ukraine. She and members of the peace movement visited orphanages and hospitals en route. They witnessed firsthand the terrible illnesses and deformities that were inflicted on children by the disaster. And she remembers in Belarus sitting at the foot of the bed of a seriously ill child who was not going to live. And the mother of the child sat with her at the foot of the bed. Jill asked the mother, "What can we do in Wales to help?" And the mother turned to Jill and said, "To make sure this never happens again." And I think that an individual testimony like this is more than a reason to protest against the madness that is behind me. Sam Bannon, I would like to introduce my friend and colleague Sam Bannon, March Coordinator, or Campaign Coordinator of the Trawsfynydd March. Diolch yn fawr iawn, Sam.
Thanks everyone for coming. I think when this march was being planned 4, 5, 6 months ago, we hadn't dreamed that anything like this sort of turnout would come about. So thank you so much for coming, everyone. You have to bear with me because I only wrote this about 20 minutes ago in the car. Dwi'n dysgu siarad Cymraeg, but I'm only a learner, so I'll do this in English. So there's many issues with the nuclear power industry for many reasons that Bethan just mentioned, but I'd like to talk for a few minutes about jobs. The nuclear lobby and the Tory party would have us believe that with the rollout of SMRs there will be plentiful employment. Nothing could be further from the truth. To operate this novel and emerging technology, the handful of jobs that would be created would likely be taken by people already within the industry, trained for the past few years. They'd be imported. It'd be very unlikely that these jobs would be given to people in our local communities. That is unless you include the many jobs that would be created, of course, for the sole production of safeguarding nuclear waste that will be with us for hundreds and thousands of years. I don't believe for a second, however, that this is what we envisage when we think about a just and green transition. All this ecological destruction for less than a century's worth of energy, assuming there's wide adoption of nuclear power. There simply isn't enough uranium in the world for these proposals to represent anything like a long-term energy security plan. Contrast this with the limitless potential of a green industrial revolution in Wales, potentially employing thousands of people at a fraction of the cost and with rapid decarbonisation in the process. 1,100 wind turbines produce the same output as Hinkley. According to the IPCC, we have less than 10 years to avert from the worst impact of climate change, yet any of these proposals for SMRs would not materialise until at least the mid-2030s, far too late. CND Cymru has always been ahead of the curve on this, however, and the trade union position has been feeble. This, however, is beginning to change. In May this year, PCS passed a motion in their national conference roundly condemning the government's net carbon strategy and the rollout of SMRs. They cite many issues, including safety concerns, waste production, and the limited availability of uranium. PCS, the 5th largest union in the UK, have endorsed this march, and Mark Swatka, the General Secretary, sent this message. I applaud the young members of CND Cymru who are marching between Trawsfynydd and Wylfa nuclear power station sites on between the 4th and 10th of September in protest at the Westminster Government's proposals to recommission them using small modular reactors. As we confirmed at our annual conference in May, PCS opposes any investment in nuclear energy generation, due mainly to the enormous risks to human life demonstrated over the years by the appalling accidents at Windscale, 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl and Fukushima. While we strongly support a decisive shift away from fossil fuels, nuclear power is expensive and will do nothing to alleviate high energy bills. We believe energy transition should be accomplished by developing renewable energy sources, such as wind, hydro, solar, wave and tidal power as part of a just transition, protecting workers and communities as we decarbonise the economy. I wish the Young Marchers the best of luck with their initiative and would encourage any PCS members able to do so to show their support by joining a leg of the march. Decent jobs, terms and conditions is rarely the terrain on which the nuclear debate is fought, which I think is a shame because the nuclear industry doesn't have a leg to stand on. CND Cymru find ourselves in a unique position to work with the trade unions to make the arguments for a genuine, just, green transition. And that is part of why we're marching this week. I look forward to seeing you on the march. Thank you very much for coming. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Diolch yn fawr, Sam. And now we have Sophie McKean from Extar Cymru. Diolch.
Diolch yn fawr. Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg hefyd, felly dwi'n mynd i trio i sgwrs yn Gymraeg. Wel, dwi wedi anfon y Gymraeg i fy ffrind i just checio. Mae treigladau yn ofnadwy. Mae fy treigladau yn ofnadwy, sorry. Okay. Sophie dwi o XR Cymru. Dwi'n mor hapus i ddod yma i gefnogi CND Cymru ac i siarad heddiw ar ran XR Cymru. Yn diweddar, yn yr Eisteddfod Genedlaethol, dywedodd Angharad Thomas, ymgyrchydd yr iaith Gymraeg. Mae cael cydweithio cryf rhwng mudiadau ymgyrchu yn holl bwysig. Felly mae'n wych bod sefydliadau o Gymru yn cefnogi ei gilydd i dychmygu, tyfu a creu gwlad wir a del ar gyfer ei wirion ac ei wirion nhw. I'm delighted to be marching in support of CND Cymru, speaking today on behalf of XR Cymru. Recently at the Eisteddfod Genedlaethol, Angharad Thomas, a Welsh language campaigner, said, having strong collaboration between campaigning organisations is crucial, which is why it's wonderful that organisations in Wales are supporting each other to dream, grow and create a green and beautiful country for our grandchildren and their grandchildren. Dydy ynni nuclear ddim yn wyrdd, glan neu diogel. Bydd yn gwastraff yn parhau i bodlon yn ein amgylchedd gwerthfawr am filoedd o flynyddoedd. O hyd, does dim ffordd diogel i wared gwastraff nuclear o ddegawdau yn ôl. A dyna jyst un reswm pam mae rhaid i ni beidio creu mwy. Nuclear energy isn't clean, green or safe. The waste continues to exist for thousands of years in our precious ecosystems. There remains no safe way to dispose of nuclear waste from decades ago, and this is just one reason why we must not create any more. Os mae'n phosib i codi biliynau o arian cyhoeddus a private ar gyfer ynni nuclear, wedyn gallwn ni'n godi fo ar gyfer trawsnewid gwrdd. Da ni ddim angen anghefyl ddrud arall sy'n creu llygredd ac yn cefnogi'r diwydiant ryfel. Da ni eisiau atebion gwyrdd, glân, heddychlon i gwrdd a'n anheinion ynni yng Nghymru. Mae'r technoleg yn bodoli i wneud hyn yn phosib. Felly, da ni'n galw ar wleidyddion a'r sector private i gamu i'r adwy. If we can raise billions in private and public money for nuclear energy, then we can raise it for a green transition. We don't need another expensive, polluting behemoth that supports the war industry. We want green, clean, peaceful solutions to meet our energy needs in Wales. The technology exists to make this possible, which is why we demand that politicians and private industry step up.
Ia, felly dyma neges Mabon ap Gwynfor. Diolch i bawb am ddod ynghyd mwyn tynnu sylw at ffolineb adeiladu atomfeydd niwclear newydd, boed yn fach neu'n fawr. Dywed rhai fod niwclear newydd yn hanfodol mwyn mynd i'r afael a newid hinsawdd. Y gwir ydy na fydd niwclear yn chwarae unrhyw rhan yn ein hymdrechion i atal y byd rhag cynhesu dros 1.5 grad o'r tymheredd cyn ddiwydiannol. Mae gennym ar y gorau 8 mlynedd ar ôl i atal hyn rhag digwydd. Mae atomfa gonfensiynol yn cymryd tua 15 mlynedd i'w adeiladu, ac nid yw technoleg atomfeydd bach hyd yn oed wedi cael ei trwyddedu eto, heb sôn am ddechrau adeiladu. Felly mae'n sefyll i'r reswm na all niwclear chwarae rhan yn y frwydr yma. Y gwir ydy fod yr holl siarad gwag am niwclear dros y 2 ddegawd diwethaf a'r biliynau o bres cyhoeddus sydd wedi cael ei wario ar y dechnoleg wedi gwastraffu amser ac adnoddau prin a gellir fod wedi cael ei roi i dechnoleg adnewyddadwy eiddfed, megis gwynt y môr neu wella technoleg newydd megis ynni o lanw a thrai. Y rheswm am y sôn cyson am niwclear a'r biliynau sydd wedi cael ei wario arno ydy fod angen y buddsoddiad ar y sector niwclear mwyn cynnal cynllunio niwclear militaraidd y wladwriaeth. Mae nhw wedi ymrwymo i ddatblygu y llongau tanfor niwclear Dreadnought, fydd yn cario taflegrau niwclear Trident, ac hefyd yn edrych i ennill cytundeb Awstralia i adeiladu llongau tanfor niwclear iddynt hwy fel rhan o'r cytundeb AUKUS. Mae angen y sgiliau ar y gweithlu ar y sector niwclear militaraidd i gyflawni uchelgais. A'r unig ffordd i wneud hynny ydy trwy denu ein pobl ifanc galluog i fynd i astudio y dechnoleg. Fydd yn ei dro yn bwydo'n uniongyrchol ac yn anuniongyrchol i fewn i'r rhaglen niwclear militaraidd. Dyna pam fod y wladwriaeth hon yn sôn drosodd a throsod am niwclear, a dyna pam fod yn rhaid i ni ei wrthwynebu. Heb sôn wrth gwrs am y ffaith ei fod yn beryglus ac am adael gwaddol hunllefus ar ôl am ddegau o filoedd o flynyddoedd. Pe byddai ein cyndeithiau a adawyd Affrica 80,000 o flynyddoedd yn ôl wedi bod yn cloddio uraniwm, yna mi rydym yn parhau i reoli y gwastraff farwol heddiw. Pob lwc i bawb ar y daith wrth dynnu sylw at y peryglen yma.
Diolch yn langes. Nawr, dwi'n mynd i cyflwyno Deilwen Evans o Cadno. Diolch.
Diolch yn fawr. 35 o flynyddoedd yn ôl oedden ni'n cychwyn Cadno yn fan hyn. Ar y pryd, yn erbyn PWR, o nefygythiad o godi PWR yma. Wel, 35 o flynyddoedd ymlaen, rydyn ni yma eto yn gwrthwynebu cynllun arall arbrofol. Y bwriad ar y pryd oedd mystyn y llyn yma 2 milltir i lawr i gyfeiriad Dolgellau. Roedd yr argae mynd i fod, dwi'n siŵr da chi wedi sylwi pan da chi'n mynd lawr o ochr isa i Bron Aber, lle mae'r siales. Mae yna gapel bach ar ochr y ffordd. Oedd yr argae mynd i fod chydig bach yn uwch i fyny na hynna, Pont y Gribli ar y mapiau. Ac mi fydd yna wrthwynebiad chwyrn. Ac ar y pryd, y dywediad oedd trydan too cheap to meter. Did you see it? I didn't. Dyna be oedd yr addewid. Erbyn hyn, rydw i wedi symud o'r ardal, o'n i byw 2 milltir i lawr, fel mel i fyny compressor a fi lawr i gyfeiriad Dolgellau. Ac da ni ddim wedi cael unrhyw ymchwiliad i effaith y magnox ar iechyd pobl yr ardal. A ddim dest yn ymyl ond yn bellach mae yna salwch mawr wedi bod, lle Harlach, Talsarnau, fyny i gyfeiriad Betws y Coed, llefydd fel yna, a mae pobl yn holi, yn enwedig erbyn hyn, be ydy effaith hwn wedi bod. Dau beth ydw I eisiau dweud, I'll just recap on what I've said. We started Cadno 35 years ago, and it was in opposition to building a PWR at the time. They wanted to extend the lake another 3 miles down towards Dolgellau. And there was a big campaign, and the lake is still the same as it is. We always said that it was the most polluted lake in Europe, and that drove the industry mad. But they couldn't prove otherwise. And now they say that the lake has been cleaned. How? I do not know. But what I can tell you is that the water from this lake goes down to Mansurok through the pipes to produce hydroelectric, which has been going since the 1920s and has been much more dependable than the nuclear. And then it goes through to Cardigan Bay. And it gets washed up on the shores of the Llyn Peninsula, Ynys Môn, all the different places that the tides carry the water to. So now then, behind these reactor buildings, there is a big square building, which is the intermediate level waste building. They say that all the radioactivity went from here with the fuel, but there are all sorts of things that they had to get rid of apart from the fuel. And fair enough, they try to package it as well as they can and make it as safe as they can. But as was said before, what is the age of concrete? We have a song in Welsh about the flower that splits the rock. And you see grass growing through concrete in very few years. So if anything leaks in there, it goes to the water table and it pollutes more and more, and again goes down to the sea. Dau beth yn fyr dwi eisiau dweud. Dwi ar ran yng nghenedlaeth hi, on behalf of my generation, I would like to give these youngsters a huge apology for leaving them with this legacy. The waste, they don't know what to do with it. We don't know what its effect is going to be for years to come. So I do apologise most sincerely to the next generation and the generations that follow about what we've done to their world.
Diolch Bethan. Diolch am y cyfle I ddod yma heddiw yn ôl I Fro fy Mebyd I gefnogi'r bobl ifanc anhygol yma sy'n gwneud safiad yn erbyn yn ei niwclear trwy gerdded o traws I Wylfa. Dwi'n cofio dod yma I protestio efo mam yn y 90au a mae mor braf bod yma efo gymaint o bobl ar ddiwrnod mor braf. Fydd rhai yn chi'n gwybod ges I magu yn cwmprysor 2 milltir o fama a bod yn nheulu fi wedi bod ac yn parhau fod yn wrth niwclear. Yn 1986, can bywyd mae fy rhieni I oedd y cwpl mwyaf yn belytrol ym Mhrydain, efo'r lefelau ucha yn eu cyrff nhw trwy Brydain gyfan. A dwi'n cofio, dwi'n meddwl na 8 oed o'n I ar y pryd, ac yna newyddiadurwyr, gwyddonwyr, yn prysuro draw i'r hendrain gweld ni I siarad, ond hefyd I fesur lefelau belydradd yn cynnyrch leol ni, yn y tatws wyau ac yn llefrith ni. Ond yn ddigon dadlennol, be oedd y cwestiwn cyntaf yn cael ei ofyn I mam a'n had oedd, Mr and Mrs Williams, have you been eating fish from Trawsfynydd Lake? A mae hwnna I fi yn gwbl dadlennol. A mae'n esbonio mewn ffordd pam dwi'n mor drwg dybus ac amheus o'r diwydiant niwclear ers yn ifanc. A mod I ofn yn belydredd. Ofn I effeithio fo ar iechyd yn heulu fi, yn ffrindiau, yn hymuned I. Dwi hefyd ofn rhyfeloedd niwclear. Mae taflegra Rwsia yn glanio ar diriogaeth atomfeydd yn yr Ukraine rwan hyn. Yn y bôn, dwi ofn senario llyfr glas nebo go iawn.
Hoffwn i gyflwyno nawr Jill Evans, Cadeirydd CND Cymru. Jill Evans, our Chair of CND Cymru. Diolch, Jill.
Diolch yn fawr Bethan, a diolch yn fawr i chi gyd am ddod yma heddi i gefnogi dechrau'r orymdaith i protestio yn erbyn unrhyw gynlluniau i ddatblygu adweithyddion modular bach, yr SMRs yma, ar y safle yma yn Trawsfynydd, neu yn Wylfa, neu mewn unrhyw le arall yng Nghymru. Thank you all for coming here to give your support to this march organised by young CND Cymru activists to protest against the siting of SMRs here in Trawsfynydd or in Wylfa or anywhere else in Wales. And thank you Bethan and Sam and all those who have worked so hard to make this happen. But thank you most of all for your commitment and your decision to organise this march to raise your voices against nuclear power. Small modular reactors are nuclear power stations. Calling them small or mini is an attempt to sell the idea that they are somehow different, but they are not, and they are not safe. Nuclear is not the answer to our energy needs or to combating climate change, and there's a direct connection between civil nuclear power and nuclear weapons. Over 80 states have signed up now to the United Nations Treaty to prohibit nuclear weapons. That's the treaty that provides us with a positive and a realistic blueprint to ban nuclear weapons for good. Mae ynni nuclear yn rhy-ddrud yn dod â pheryg damweiniau trychinebus ac yn gadael etifeddiaeth o wastraff nuclear gwenwynig i genedlaethau'r dyfodol. Mwy o wastraff yn achos SMRs. Ni byddai'n helpu gyda costau byw na dod i'r afael a newid hinsawdd. Ac mae cysylltiad ag arfau nuclear yn hanfodol. As chair of CND Cymru, I was proud to sign the Carnarvon Declaration recently, which sets out the path for Wales to become a nation powered by renewable energy. We have the natural resources and we have the human potential to develop renewables to serve the real interests of our local communities. We need sustainable jobs for sustainable communities. And as we've heard already, 75% of the spend of community energy companies stays local. It's valuable investment in every sense. Yn y blwyddyn yma, rydyn ni'n dathlu 20 mlynedd ers datgan Cymru yn wlad ddi-nuclear. Ac mae'n amserol ein bod ni wedi gwneud datganiad cryf arall. Nid oes lle i ynni nuclear yn y byd heddi. Gallen ni, Cymru, cenedl fach, arwain y ffordd unwaith eto. Mae cytundeb y Cenhedloedd Unedig ar wahardd arfau nuclear wedi gefnogi gan dros 80 o wladwriaethau erbyn hyn. Dyma ffordd positif i ni gael gwared ag arfau nuclear. Wedyn, ni fyddai angen datblygu sgiliau yn y diwydiant nuclear sifil ar gyfer y dyfodol. Gallen ni buddsoddi yn lle mewn sgiliau yn ei gwyrth. There's no better way to mark the 40th anniversary of the Nuclear Free Wales Declaration than for Wales to take the lead once more and declare that there is no place for nuclear power in today's world. Our lives have been turned upside down by the pandemic, by climate change, by war, and by the cost of living crisis. We cannot go on in the same way. A green revolution is possible, and we need it now more than ever. Rydyn ni'n gyfarwydd a gorymdeithio mwyn cyflwyno neges. Mae pobl Cymru wedi gwneud dros y canrifoedd. Rwyf mor falch heddi I ddilyn pobl ifanc sydd yn cerdded dros ddyfodol pob un ohonyn ni a dros dyfodol ein cenedl. Mynwn cyfiawnder hinsawdd a dyfodol gwyrdd. For many of us, this has already been a long march with many ups and downs. But it's so exciting, and I am so proud today to be following young people who are walking for the future of every one of us and for the future of Wales itself. So my message to them is many will walk in your footsteps in the coming week, and many more will hear your powerful voices demanding a green future and climate justice. This is the path you are treading, and you are leading the way. Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, Jill. Os ydych chi yn dod ar y diwrnod cyntaf, os ydych chi'n mynd I gorymdeithio efo ni ar y diwrnod cyntaf, dwi'n argymell I chi parcio y maes parcio Magnox ac nid prysor ble mae'r caffi, achos mae'r getiau'n cael am 5. If you are joining us on our first leg, please could you park at the Magnox car park rather than the Canolfan Prysor where the cafe is, because the gates shut at 5. And if you are joining us, we will be ferrying you back to Trawsfynydd. Yeah?
Anyone needs bags, so that is transport.
Yes, and if you need your bags transported, we will do that for you as well. So shall we go and gather by the Prysor Centre and then sort everything out? But if you're not joining us on our first day, thank you so much for coming. We really, really appreciate your support. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
This way. On the path.
siarad gair am cariad o amgylch hon fel dyddi ac am bell angen o'r wsmari.
Dwi'm yn gwybod os di. Dwi'm yn gwybod. Brilliant.
Na i SMRs. Na i SMRs.
I went back there and I answered the door at Talbot during the step. As I went in, I recognised it. He was in
We're going to be shut Arab to sign the declaration.
Oh, well then.
O Trawsfynydd i Wylfa, a byddwn ni'n cyrraedd Wylfa a Wylfa. Ar y dydd Sadwrn, sori. Mae pob dydd jyst yn mynd mewn.
O, na, mae o'n bellter. Gerdded ydy na.
Yn ymdrech fawr o'r text.
Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Diolch yn fawr. Diolch am y concept.
Diolch yn fawr iawn. Diolch.
Is called The Weed, and it is a poem about dandelions and resistance. I'm a weed, thriving on barren earth, living in the spaces you forgot to spray with reason, and in your neatly ordered gardens I... Dangos I mi wlad sydd yn gyfiawn, dangos I mi ddyn sydd yn gall, dangos I mi fabi sy'n euog, dangos I mi hanes heb wall. Canau mi, alaw sy'n newid, neu stori sy'n newid o dan seren. Dangos I mi arf sy'n edrychol, cyfraith mi y gwall ar dy ben. Mae'n hwyr glas I mi gallio dilyn y dren. Hwyr glas I mi fentro codi ym mhen. Dangos I mi pan wyt ti'n wylo, dweud I mi beth sy'n under dy fron. Tro nôl, nid ffordd na mae'r mendio, nôl at y groeso'n ffordd berig di hon. Mae'n hwyr glas I mi gallio dilyn y drefn.
We are the youth cohort of CND Cymru. Diolch yn fawr iawn i'r nuclear power station, and we'll be at Wylfa nuclear power station on Saturday. We have been walking and continue to walk for 7 days, 120 kilometres, in protest against the proposal to reintroduce
Na I nuclear! Na I nuclear!
Yeah. So, ti di bod yn Sir Fôn o'r blaen?
in Trawsfynydd. You probably won't need it, to be honest. I don't. I
ag un i Felix, dwi'n dod achos ffordd o Aberystwyth, Ceredigion, gyda pobl eraill o Cymru Bendal Balader fel rhan o sefyll yn erbyn gorsafwyd niwclear newydd.
Diolch yn fawr iawn.
I'd just like to say well done to everybody for the long walk that you've all put yourselves through. Very impressed. More impressed by your commitment to the cause. We hope this declaration will ignite respectful debate within the Chamber, and we can discuss the matter on facts and truth, and hopefully come to a decision that we all hopefully agree with. I'd like to say special tribute to Beth and Sam for all their organising. Fantastic job. And we're on your side. Let's try and respectfully debate with the others and bring them alongside. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Croesawu chi gyd i Ynys Môn, ac diolch i chi am gerdded mor bell. Ydych chi'n cerdded i Wylfa fory?
Fory fory a wedyn Wylfa.
Oce, da ni'n croesawu chi yn Ynys Môn, ac mae gennym ni ddigon o wynt yma yma i redag trydan am gannoedd o fynyddoedd, ac does am lle gwell, dwi'n meddwl, achos oedd yr hen bobl yn sylweddoli drwy adeiladu melin wynt ym mhob pentra, na dyna'r ffordd ymlaen. Ac mae pob melin wynt sydd wedi adfeilio yn ysgoffa ni ym mhob un pentra bron yn Sir Fôn. Mae adnewyddol ydy'r ateb. Ac mae'n hollol hurt wneud un byd arall. Diolch i chi am ddod eto ni fama i Gyngor Ynys Môn. Da ni'n ddau newydd sbond. We're shining, aren't we?
We are.
Newness. Da ni'n disgleirio, da ni mor newydd. Ac da ni'n trio gweithio allan sut i daclo y cyngor i wneud gwahanol bethau. Ac bydd yna rali yma eto mewn chydig o ddyddiau ynglyn â tai ha. Da ni'n croesawu hynny fyd yr un modd. Diolch o galon i chi am sefyll, ac dwi'n dychryn weithiau gymaint yn lled y bobl ifanc sydd yn modlon protestio dyddi yma, ac dwi'n falch iawn o'ch gweld chi yma, achos pan o'n i'n ifanc, oedden ni'n methu stopio protestio, oedden ni'n colli coleg am fisodd ar y tro, ond mae bobl yn poeni am i dyfodol ar y bethau wan dyn ni, ond adag hynny, pobl oedd Fred Francis yn arwain y ffordd gorau chi ddilyn o ran parch ato fo ar ei eraill tebyg. Croeso mawr i Ynys Môn.
Un o meidion Glen Dŵr ar Facebook.
I look forward to seeing you at the social later.
Ie, faint o gloch mae hwnna wan? Cos mae gennym fi brodas am 9. Welai chi 7 o'clock.
We got a meeting at 6 or something.
O, mam bach. Diwrnod ofnadwy, ond diwrnod da i chi. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Diolch.
raised that they need to increase the water pressure and all this.
Can you turn your sign to my camera? Can you? That's it. Thank you.
Peter Adamson from South Wales, Abertyle area, and we've had a fine morning. It's walking. Just had a bit of a break and now we're going to set off again. So, yeah. Fabulous bunch of people we've been walking with. Down with Wylfa.
And whereabouts are you heading for this afternoon? Cymru, I believe, is it?
Wylfa, isn't it? Wylfa?
I think it's Cymru actually, which is just up the coast a bit.
Yeah, so we're going to be staying on the coast somewhere. Will that do you?
Yeah, thank you.
Where's my dog's theme tune?
They look a lot more comfortable than the media.
And he was doing the field day. An Olympic gold medalist. So we thought it was great.
I've left my bag behind as well. I'm just be back in 2 seconds.
the weather and their sock drawer, and they hadn't mentioned
nuclear. SMS.
No, everything.
nuclear.
Well, it's pretty fun. Did you say the band's up here anyway? Oh. Yeah.
No, which is, I think, something anyway. Yeah, it's,
Mae wedi bod werth pob cam. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi am eich holl cefnogaeth. Heb chi, sy'r grondaeth yma heb ddigwydd. Felly diolch gymaint I bob un ohonoch chi. Dyn ni mor ddiolchgar am eich caredigrwydd chi a'ch cefnogaeth. Diolch. The youth cohort of CND Cymru called for this 7-day march from Trawsfynydd Nuclear Power Station to Wylfa Nuclear Power Station in protest at the Westminster Government's proposals to recommission them using SMRs, small modular nuclear reactors. The decision to march came hand in hand with the growing frustration felt by young people following the government's greenwashing of nuclear energy, therefore selling it as a form of clean, safe and homegrown energy in the backdrop of the climate crisis. Yng nghanol yr argyfwng costau byw sydd ohoni, mae'r Llywodraeth Doriaidd wedi ei gamblo hi drwy roed 200 miliwn o bunnoedd ymlaen llaw I gwmni Rolls-Royce sydd am gynllunio'r dechnoleg newydd hon. A maen nhw wedi wneud hyn heb wybod faint yn union fydd yr SMRs yma yn costio yn y pen draw. Ac yn rwbio'r halen mewn i'r brew, dim ond ar ôl 2030 bydd yr SMRs yn weithredol. Bydd nhw methu, felly, chwarae mewn unrhyw ran o gyflawni carbon net zero cyn 2050. A mae pob ceiniog sy'n cael ei gwastraffu yn arian nad sy'n cael ei wario ar dechnoleg sydd wedi ei profi I weithio. Opsiynau carbon isel, adnewyddadwy, megis yr ynni haul, gwynt a thonau, yn ogystal ag insuleiddio tai. Dyn ni hefyd mor bryderus am effeithiau trychinebus cloddio am uranium ar diroedd pobl frodorol yn Awstralia, yn ogystal â pharthau deheuol y byd. Ni all ynni niwclear esgor ar gyfiawnder hinsawdd. Ac mae ofyn gennym hefyd am y cysylltiadau rhwng pŵer niwclear, y fyddin ac arfau niwclear. Ac wrth edrych ar y sefyllfa'n Ukraine, mae hyn yn brawf fod gan orsafoedd bŵer niwclear y potensial I ddod yn offerynnau rhyfel. Ar ongl amgylcheddol, mae gorsafoedd yn ei niwclear angen llawer iawn o goncrit I amgau ei gwastraff niwclear. Mae concrit yn para be? 50 mlynedd os dyn ni'n lwcus? Mae ymbyledredd yn para miloedd o flynyddoedd. Felly beth sy'n digwydd i'r gwastraff niwclear pan mae'r concrit yn methu? Mae gwastraff niwclear hefyd yn cael ei ollwng i'r môr a'i gladdu dan ddeiar. Mae gorsafoedd yn niwclear yn cymryd cannoedd o flynyddoedd i'w cynnal a'i cadw, hyd yn oed ar ôl I nhw gau. Dyma I chi felly gost economaidd ac amgylcheddol, sneb yn siarad amdani. A mae'r criw ohonom ni sydd wedi ymdeithio yn erbyn yr adeiladu, yn erbyn adeiladu'r SMAs mewn Trawsfynydd a Wylfa, a mi'n lleisiau ni cael ein clywed yn y trafodaethau hyn. Y trafodaethau sy'n mynd i ddarlunio'r dirwedd bydd rhaid i ni a'n plant ni fyw ynddi yn y dyfodol. Ac mae damweiniau yn digwydd. Accidents do happen. Fukushima nuclear disaster in Japan in 2011 and Chernobyl in the Ukraine in 1986. More than 1,500 miles away, the radiation from Chernobyl affected hill farming in North Wales, where radioactivity became retained in the topography of the land. Sheep had to be slaughtered to prevent radiation from entering the food cycle, and Welsh farms remained under restrictions for a further 25 years. Radiation transcends the ideas of borders. It really just depends on which way the wind blows. 10 years after the Chernobyl disaster, CND Cymru's National Secretary at the time, Jill Goff, took an ambulance load of medical aid and equipment to Ukraine. She and members of the peace movement visited orphanages and hospitals en route and witnessed firsthand the terrible illnesses and deformities that were inflicted on children by the disaster. And she remembers sitting at the foot of a bed of a seriously ill child who was not going to live. And the mother of that child sat with her at the foot of the bed. Jill asked the mother, "What can we do in Wales to help?" And the mother turned to Jill and said, "To make sure that this never happens again." And I think that an individual testimony like this is more than a reason to protest against the madness that is here right now. Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch Bethan. Nes I anghofio un enw pan o'n i'n diolch i'r tîm cefnogi. I forgot one name, sorry, with the backup team who've been busy all week with their cars. Elba Jones, who's been doing a tremendous amount of filming and carrying bags and supporting in general. Diolch yn fawr I ti, Albert.
Yeah.